Welcome to TechVibe. Imagine a camera that doesn't just capture images, but fundamentally shifts your ability to tell a visual story. For years, the professional photography community has been waiting, almost holding its breath, for the true successor to the Z7 II. We have seen incremental updates, we have seen refinements, but we haven't seen a revolution until now. Today, we are looking at the Nikon Z7 III, the camera that is finally bridging the gap between high-resolution studio work and cinema-grade video production. This is not just another mirrorless body, it is a declaration of intent from Nikon to reclaim its dominance in the professional sector. If you are a landscape photographer who lives for the golden hour, a portrait artist who demands perfection in every skin tone, or a hybrid creator who needs a single tool for everything, this is the deep dive you have been waiting for. The conversation starts, as it always should with Nikon, at the sensor. We have moved past the era of the 45-megapixel standard. The Z7 III is rumored to be sporting a massive 67-megapixel BSI CMOS sensor. This is a game-changer for those who need to print large, crop heavily, or simply capture the kind of micro-contrast that makes an image feel three-dimensional. This isn't just about raw resolution, it is about the architecture of that sensor. By utilizing a new sensor design, Nikon is aiming for a native ISO of 64. For anyone who has used the D850, you know that this specific ISO value is the secret sauce. It provides a base dynamic range that is practically unbeatable, allowing you to pull details out of the deepest shadows without introducing unsightly noise. This sensor is built for the purists. It is designed for the photographers who want to capture the texture of rock faces in the desert or the subtle nuances of fabric in a studio setting. When you combine this level of resolution with the sharpness of the Z-mount lenses, you are essentially looking at medium format quality in a body that fits into your camera bag. But the real story, the one that has everyone in the industry talking, is the integration of RED technology. Nikon's acquisition of RED Digital Cinema was a seismic event, and we are finally seeing the shockwaves. The Z7 III is expected to incorporate internal 12-bit and RAW and ProRes RAW recording at 8K resolution at up to 60 frames per second. Think about that for a second. This means you are essentially carrying a cinema rig in the palm of your hand. Previously, if you wanted this kind of footage, you were looking at a separate cinema camera that cost as much as a used car. With the Z7 III, that boundary is effectively erased. The color science alone is a massive jump. You are getting the kind of highlight roll-off and skin tone reproduction that has defined Hollywood cinema for decades. For hybrid shooters, this is the holy grail. It means you can shoot a high-end photography campaign in the morning, switch to video mode, and capture broadcast-quality 8K cinema footage in the afternoon, all on the same card, with the same color profile. Of course, a high-resolution sensor and cinema-grade video are nothing without a brain to process all that data. This is where the EXPEED processor comes into play. It is the powerhouse behind the curtain. We are seeing a massive leap in computational power, which directly impacts everything from autofocus acquisition to buffer performance. The autofocus system in the Z7 III is expected to be a total overhaul. We are talking about subject detection that goes beyond just people and animals. This new system is rumored to be capable of tracking complex, erratic movement with the kind of persistence that makes missing a shot virtually impossible. Whether you are shooting birds in flight or a model moving unpredictably in a dark studio, the camera is designed to lock on and never let go. It covers the frame with nearly 500 focus points, ensuring that even if your subject is on the very edge of the composition, you have total control. Now, let's talk about the physical experience of using this camera. Nikon has always excelled at ergonomics, and they have taken the feedback from the Z8 and the D850 to heart. The grip is deeper, more secure, and perfectly balanced for those longer telephoto lenses. The button layout is intuitive, designed for professionals who need to change settings by feel without taking their eye off the viewfinder. Speak. ING of the viewfinder, we are looking at a high-resolution, 5.76 million EVF with a 120 Hz refresh rate. It is incredibly bright, responsive, and completely blackout-free. When you look through it, you aren't looking at a screen, you are looking at the world. It provides a sense of connection to the scene that many mirrorless cameras struggle to replicate. The rear screen, too, is a standout, featuring that same 4-axis tilting mechanism that allows you to shoot at awkward high or low angles in both landscape and portrait orientation without having to contort your body. It is a small detail, but for a pro who is out in the field all day, it is a lifesaver. We also have to address the durability. This is a camera built to go where the work is. Whether that is a rainy wedding in London, a dusty desert in Arizona, or a humid jungle in South America, the Z7 III is weather-sealed to a professional standard. It feels like a tank, yet it is significantly lighter than the old DSLRs that defined the industry. For storage, you are looking at dual slots. You have a CF Express Type B slot to handle that massive 8K data throughput, and a UHS-2 SD slot for your backups or when you are shooting in standard formats and just need reliability. It is a configuration that prioritizes speed and security, two things that are non-negotiable for professional work. There is also the matter of the ecosystem. You aren't just buying a body, you are buying into the Z-mount system. Nikon has been on an absolute tear with their lens development. From the S-line primes to the f/2.8 zoom trinity, these lenses are arguably the best optics ever manufactured for a digital mirrorless system. They are designed to resolve the kind of fine detail that a 67-megapixel sensor requires. If you have been hesitant to switch because you weren't sure about the lens roadmap, that concern is now effectively gone. You have the best glass, and now you have the best body to utilize it. When we look at the competition, specifically the Sony S7 III or the Canon R5 II, the Nikon Z7 III carves out a very specific identity. It doesn't try to be everything to everyone, instead, it doubles down on the core tenets of professional photography, image quality, reliability, and an intuitive user experience. It appeals to the photographer who wants the best possible file, the best dynamic range, and a camera that feels like an extension of their own hands. It isn't trying to win a spec war on paper just for the sake of marketing, it is trying to win the war on real-world results. And when you look at the price, which is projected to sit in that premium territory, you have to realize that this is an investment. It is not an entry-level purchase, and it is not meant to be. It is a professional tool intended to pay for itself through the quality of the work it produces. There is a certain weight to the Nikon name. It is synonymous with the history of photography. It is the camera that traveled to space, that captured the most iconic moments in journalism, and that defined what a pro DSLR could do. With the Z7 III, Nikon is proving that they understand the future, but they haven't forgotten the past. They are bridging that divide with confidence. If you have been waiting for a reason to upgrade, if you have been waiting for the technology to finally catch up to your vision, the wait is effectively coming to an end. This is a camera designed to push you further, to make you more creative, and to ensure that when you look back at your portfolio in 5 years, you have the highest quality work possible. The landscape of photography is changing rapidly, and with this machine, Nikon is not just keeping pace, they are setting the tempo. As we move closer to the official launch, one thing is certain, the conversation about the best high-resolution camera on the market is about to change entirely. You have all the data, you have the roadmap, and now you have a clear picture of what the future holds for your gear bag. It is time to start planning your next shoot, your next project, and your next big move in the professional photography world. Thanks for watching and for being a part of TechVibe. Keep focused, keep pushing your creative boundaries, and I will see you in the next one.